How's it going, man?
Good. How you doing?
Oh, frick. Weekly brain
Right.
download.
That's right.
This has been a long one.
Yeah.
But man, February disappeared so fast.
It's just gone.
So fast.
Yeah.
Like, it actually scares me how
Like-
fast. Like, there was just so much going on.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
whole month has just been just
It's
boom.
it's like the 2021 continues already.
Man, it's crazy.
So much shit went on.
Oh, so much. So much.
Like already in this week. Like,
I'll let you kick it off. What do you want to talk about first?
oh man,
Where are we going?
chick glues her hair.
That was,
Dude,
that was the first thing I was going
and we landed on Mars. See, so what a society.
Oh, dude.
So what a society. So you have, it's like we.
Look, check it out.
Oh,
Women
shit.
who
Yeah, yeah.
style their hair with Gorilla
Oh,
Glue.
First of all, first of all, you've just blown my mind already.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
we're like,
Yeah.
it's so high tech now.
Yeah.
So,
Can you believe
Can we-
this?
so Ryan can hear us, right?
Yeah.
So like the funny thing is that we've pulled this up. Chick Gorilla Glue. So chick Gorilla glues her hair. Then people say it's because of racial inequity that she did it,
I couldn't believe when I heard that.
which doesn't make any sense. But then you can literally go to Google now, and we just landed another giant robot on Mars.
Yeah.
In the same
In
week.
the same way. Like, we got
So
I never thought of it that way. I never thought of it in 1 week.
in 1
we
week,
had some moron.
yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm
moron.
sorry, miss.
Dumb,
like,
dumb.
I'm sorry. Dumb.
Dumb, you're
You
dumb.
listen
You're
to.
dumb.
You listen
You're
to.
dumb.
Yeah. You listen to. What's his name?
That's because that's a perfect way to say it.
It is
It's like you're dumb dumb.
like some dumb.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta adjust that camera. We gotta drop that a little bit. Hang on a sec. I'll fix it. 1 sec. It's all good. This is cool.
We're on. If you're listening to us on a podcast, you can't even see it anyway. But whoa, that's good. What's wrong with that?
Perfect.
Yeah. It's like
Oh, my hair. It's all good. Anyway, yeah. So that's crazy that you brought that up.
that's the human.
We-
That's the human race in a nutshell.
We landed on Mars.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mars, bam! It's
Oh.
Mars. It's not a very good picture. It's a shitty picture. But that's about the quality that they're sending back.
Yeah. So that's another thing. Okay. Real
Have
quick.
you seen the Samsung Galaxy
I've-
phone?
yeah, I know.
It's insane.
It's like,
and
so
we
they
can't get a
couldn't
decent
strap-
picture.
Yeah. So it's like that's the thing that's so messed up. It's like, okay, we're going back. Why? So I watched a lot because I was working.
Yeah.
And I thought I'm gonna like take a trip down memory lane. Like I was all about space.
Yep.
Growing up.
Yep.
And man, I love the shuttle. Like I had models of the space shuttle, and I just like watched documentaries. And I remember like watching like Cosmos with Carl Sagan. And, like I just everything about space. I was just so obsessed. And like the International Space Station, I thought was just like the coolest shit in the world. So I'm like, I'm gonna do like a nostalgia kind of like. So I was working, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have the live stream
Running in the background.
running in the background on my
Yeah.
TV, and I'm gonna watch it while I'm working. And I was like so excited. I'm like, man, fuck, it's gonna be cool if we can see are we gonna see the
The camera as it's landing.
as it's landing?
Yeah,
Are we
yeah.
gonna see and then they did that skyhook thing,
Yes.
which was like so cool, like where the land, you know what I mean? Like they dropped.
I saw a
down.
graphic of how it works.
Yeah. So it's parachute. The delivery system is parachuted down, and then at a certain point, it drops the lander down. Right?
Yeah.
It's like instead of it like crash landing and opening up.
Right.
So it was like so cool. I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be so cool to see all that shit, and like can't wait. So I'm watching it, and then at first they had it was kind of cool. They had like the phases on the left of the screen. So like each
Okay.
phase of the landing procedure, it would highlight the next phase and it would
Yeah.
go down. So you could see
Yeah.
what the
Yeah,
look at that.
Yeah.
So you could see what the computer was thinking.
Yeah.
Right. And it was cool. It was like the computer and the spacecraft was like executing a roll to try to find its to try to find the entry point
Yeah.
to drop, just super hard sci-fi stuff, which was really cool. But then they're in the control room, which instead of there just being fields and fields of servers behind them, they're all just on laptops.
Right.
Because it's that's how much that's how like much computing power we have now,
Yeah.
which is cool. So I'm waiting for this, and then they had this like kind of shitty digital graphic of the actual like entry, and then I'm like, and I was looking, I'm like, oh, that's not real. That's like it's an animation.
Yeah.
So I'm watching and waiting, and then just like they didn't show anything.
Yeah.
They just didn't show anything.
So,
They just
but don't they lose content with it for like 17 minutes or something like
they
that?
lose contact with it in certain points. So
Okay.
like they would be like, okay, we've lost contact, and then somebody else would be like, okay, that's as
Yeah.
expected. So they like had points where they would lose contact with it.
Yeah.
But I was just expecting like I don't know, it's 2021. I was expecting like you watching the like the camera I
Yeah.
thought there'd be a camera on the delivery craft, the camera on the spacecraft, the camera on the land, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, we're gonna get the first images," and we get fucking that.
I'm like looking at like the Samsung Galaxy phone or whatever. So there's the image.
Yeah,
there
it's like, are
from-
you kidding me? Like,
I was
what is it doing?
I was looking like I keep getting inundated with the Samsung Galaxy, this new thing with like the 8K video and blah,
Yeah.
blah. I'm like, why can't you just plug one of those bastards
Like, just
on that
strap
thing?
it. Like, it's like the
Strap
camera's
it on.
this big. It's like you couldn't find space for
Like
it.
the phone's only this big.
Yeah.
Exactly, right?
Like, I don't know.
And then it's like, and then just plug a friggin' cable port into the bottom of it and ship that image to
oh
us.
my
like,
god, they
yeah.
like had Gorilla Glue hair girl like come up with the audio visual system for this thing. Like, I don't know. It's just like, like it's just
It's brutal, dude.
it's brutal.
It's brutal.
And
like-
then I thought to myself, and one of my other friends got pissed off at me because he says I'm like too much of like a pessimist. I don't think so. I think I'm pretty positive. But it's like, wow, we've equaled the achievement we did in 2004, and it's been almost 20 years. And it's like, well, we sent something else to Mars. We've done that already. Like I had the model of the little Mars rover.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I get it. Like this one's like can do more stuff, but
it's gnarly to see the distance, or just to know the distance that thing went.
yeah.
Like and like to think about it in your head, like it's like this thing, this contraption is flying through space, right?
Yeah.
And it came from here and it landed, and that it's getting sending images back. I don't know. What's the delay on the images? Like when they take an image, like for them to like land it and then like they got an image like pretty much right away. That's pretty wild. So like that radio signal coming back is quick.
Yeah, because the distance is short for a radio signal.
That's right.
Because even the distance, it's obviously way further than the moon.
Yeah.
But even the moon, they have direct radio communication, right? Like the delay is like seconds
Right.
because they were able to just,
See, that's wild.
know.
Super cool.
They had a live camera. Okay, they
And-
had a live camera on the lunar landings.
Right. And we have connectivity issues
like,
here in the province of
no,
Alberta with friggin' internet.
Well, it's just, I don't know. Sometimes, we've talked about this before.
Oh, I know.
Sometimes you're just like, I don't know if they went, man. I don't know if they went in the 60s. Like, does that make any sense to you?
It's just inconsistencies, right?
Yeah.
And so they're the first ones to successfully land on Mars. And I think China's attempting
They're doing something.
something right away too, right? Yeah. So
But again, it's like, what for?
right.
Kind of. Like,
Well, so the primary mission for this one is to find out if there was life on Mars, whether it was like micro and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because apparently, like it's all ice underneath this, so there is
yeah, there's
water
on
there.
Mars. Yeah.
And that this is just iron in the air that causes the redness, and which is that information's that's super cool, right?
Yeah.
Like I was listening to a thing on Elon Musk, and he was saying to make the Mars habitable, they would have to create microsuns to warm the planet up, and microsuns with nuclear detonations. They would actually like fire rockets up into the air outside the atmosphere that would be like
They would
massive.
just make
bursts.
like a burst of like
Yeah.
heat.
And so like they were saying, well, like how would we make something big enough? He's like you just add more hydrogen.
Yeah.
Just add more hydrogen. He's like, if you think that the biggest bomb we've ever built is that's the biggest we could do, is
Well,
like, no.
so
Like, we could build way bigger.
Yeah. So the SAR bomb,
Yeah.
the largest
Mhm.
the largest man-made nuclear detonation in Russia, they actually dropped the yield by half because the scientists were like, yeah, they literally thought that there was a chance that so they thought that at full yield, which I think was 100 megatons, I think they dropped it to 50 megatons, but I think it was 100 megatons, which was 10,000 times more than what bombed Hiroshima. They were afraid that they thought that it would ignite the gases in the atmosphere and like burn the Earth's atmosphere off. Like,
Dude,
that's what they were afraid of.
And it's a test.
And that was a test.
Hey, yeah, your test wiped out
yeah,
civilization.
Right. Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. Well, it's just like with the CERN collider, they were saying the same thing. They're like, you stupid idiots, if you make a micro black hole, even if it's like microscopic, it'll just like,
yeah,
it's just like, it'll just start like eating the Earth from the inside out. And it's like, you guys did that just to see what would happen.
Yeah.
But nothing happened. But I mean, so
but they're still working on that.
They've been
they're looking to do bigger things and get more.
That collider,
wild.
like, it proved all kinds of crazy theories.
Like the dark matter, the string
theory. It proved dark
theory,
matter,
like
string
all
theory.
That stuff,
It proved time. It proved time travel because they actually were able to send quark, or I think it was they were able to send a molecule.
No,
I'm not
legit. Can you pull that up?
Legit. They were able to send a molecule back, like where the time for the molecule's time passed differently than the time that that was observed.
I feel like this should be a lot bigger news than
it was big news back then. It was.
How long ago?
Years ago.
Really?
Yeah. They moved. It was a particle that when they moved it,
it
actually also had display. It was what was it? It was younger than it should have been.
Dude,
you're talking like
mind.
millions of. I mean, you're talking.
Yeah. But still,
it's
still like so. Then it's just like that. I mean, I feel like once the concept is proven, like once the theory is made sound,
yeah.
Now all it is just a matter of.
But even the astronauts that went to the moon,
right,
came back younger.
So how the hell does that?
Like they were still lost seconds.
I'm just wondering, like, oh man, that's great because like
it's the relativity.
Yeah, Katana's like really into like space right now, and she was talking about like Mars, like how like Mars has 625 days or something like that over
where
Earth has 365 for a year because it's
almost double.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like they were. Now, is it that way because of our construct of time? Because we've made like hours, minutes, seconds, and like that's a crazy thing. Is like time to us.
It's just time dilation.
Is the dilation, right?
Like that's all because as the closer you get to light speed, the slower you.
Yeah.
Relatively time, but time doesn't pass slow for you. It's just faster everywhere else.
Right.
So, which is they're saying like time travel. Like, I mean, what's the best way to put it? You could go forward in time,
right?
Conceivably, but time travel, as in the movies where you can go back,
but it doesn't change.
Doesn't make sense.
What doesn't make sense to me is like it doesn't change your biology. Like no. I mean, you're still aging at the same.
You're
rate.
aging at your rate, but everything around you would be faster.
So crazy.
You know what I mean? So they're talking minutes. Like they calculated that the astronauts would be like they gained like minutes.
Right.
The whole trip.
But still
like so, and they're going. I mean, that's a primitive drive system. Like we're going like 0.01 light speed. Like I mean, we're going like 20,000 kilometers an hour, second, or whatever the hell it is at max. Like when they hit their fastest point,
right? Yeah,
in the getting to the moon.
Yeah.
So you're talking like a fraction of what we'd actually need to go anywhere. But so once we start to go anywhere, then so there's this crazy book called The Forever War.
Okay.
It's hard sci-fi. You can look it up. So it's such a mindfuck idea. Earth sends a fleet to fight this alien species. But because of time dilation, by the time they get there, the war is over.
Oh, I've heard of that concept before in other mediums. Yeah.
So like by the time they get there, Earth has advanced.
The
Yeah,
Forever
Dexter
War.
Phil. Yeah, the it's so it's just
Oh
messed up.
wow, yeah.
Oh no,
That's,
wait, no,
no,
that's the
that's
wrong
not
one.
it.
That's
That's
the
the
wrong
wrong
one.
one. Yeah, because that's from the front
That's
lines
Dexter
of
Filkins. No,
yeah.
there's a sci-fi author. Um, but yeah, like that's kind of like that's crazy, right? So it's like you've left Earth and Earth has just continued to advance
Yeah.
1,000 years,
Well, like yeah, I
and
just
they've
think
already
hopscotch.
hopscotched over you, made peace with the aliens. The war's long, but they still have a fleet on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah,
Which is crazy because you'd think that you'd catch up
there you
to.
go,
Oh yeah, there we go.
Joe
Yeah.
Haldeman. Yeah,
You'd think that you'd like catch up. Oh, yeah, and then there's our what is it, Starship Troopers.
yeah, Starship
Yeah, yeah.
Troopers. Man,
Well,
I love like military sci-fi,
yeah.
like hard sci-fi.
You remember Kurt Russell, Soldier?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, with Jason Scott Lee and whatnot.
yeah.
That's kind of a neat one. I like that one too, just because of the whole the premise of it. But it's old school.
Yeah.
But yeah, like those sci-fi wars and stuff. I loved, and it didn't get a lot of push. Ender's Game.
Oh man, the book is like unreal.
Well, I thought the movie was
The
phenomenal.
movie was pretty good too. Yeah.
The movie was phenomenal. Like the whole twist at the end, I was like, "What? That's crazy." Yeah, it was that movie was awesome and great cast like Harrison Ford and I can't remember the young guy's name. But,
He was supposed to be Spider-Man.
what?
Yeah. So that actor, that young
What?
actor, was actually had, oh my god, now,
Wild.
what's his name? The new Spider-Man.
Oh, Toby. Not Garfield.
Is that messed up?
Oh my God! I can't think of
What's
this
his
guy's
name?
name.
Damn it!
He's the best one, and I can't think of his name. Shit. What's his name? Tom Holland.
Holland.
God,
Thanks.
brutal.
Thanks,
Jeez.
Thanks,
Ryan.
Tom Holland was the second choice,
Really?
and the first choice was from the kid from Ender's Game, but he couldn't keep his mouth shut
Oh,
because they were so afraid of like leaks
and stuff. Yeah.
that they're like they literally, after I guess working with him for a few months on the initial, they're like, this kid's not going to do it.
Crap.
Like he's not going to make it
He's too young.
because even Tom Holland's bad for it.
Asa Butterfield.
Asa Butterfield, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, even Tom Holland leaks like
I know. Tom
leaks
Holland's
like crazy.
but even like it would be so hard. Like even Mark Ruffalo, he's let some things out of the bag.
Yeah.
Like everybody, I think just what everybody has. It would be pretty hard.
I let shit out of the bag when my clients tell me
I
stuff.
know.
Hopefully they're not listening. But it's just, you know what I mean? But it's just like when there's like something cool happening, I just can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
It's hard.
Can't keep it.
It's hard. Oh, I know. I hear you. What do you think of?
What am I looking at?
Okay, so this is this company out of Korea, Big Hit Entertainment, and so this is the K-pop bands.
Okay.
So what my question is for you is, this company literally takes these guys and grooms them. So like,
Oh yeah.
they just put out like this request for
They find people
submissions,
and then they just build them.
and then they build this team, and then like everything from like dance to singing to everything, right?
Yeah.
And so these, I've listened to these guys. These guys are like, it's very interesting. They have like one of the world's largest concerts now, virtual concerts,
Oh.
and it's like, yeah, it's kind of wild. Like they had millions of people. These guys are called Blackpink, I think it's called. But these are the founders of this company,
Yeah.
the Big Hit Entertainment, and it's just so weird how like these guys focus on just manufacturing people into an entertainment machine.
But
it's wild.
but the Spice Girls was built that way, and so was the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, I just never looked at it that way. Like in my brain, it was just like it was a couple kids that. Like
No.
it's not like your typical rock band story where it's like, yeah, a couple of my buddies got together in a garage, we jammed, and then
Like
we
the
were
Spice Girls
"Hey,
couldn't even really sing at first,
I
and they're
know.
just like, "Who cares?"
I started reading about that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
these guys are brutal.
Yeah, and they were just like, "Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we'll just work around it."
Speaking of Spice Girls, really quickly, Wannabe. I've been playing it in the truck while we're
Yeah,
driving,
old
and
school.
my daughter is just like, "Yeah, I'll tell you what I want." And then Salt and Pepper Shoop.
Yeah, yeah.
And so she's just in the backseat, shoop, shoop, ba doop, shoop. It's
That
awesome.
shit is like
It's addictive, man.
I've gotten addicted to watching those YouTube videos where people hear stuff for the kids hear stuff for the first time,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Those
and
are
they
good.
like can't believe it
Yeah,
how good it is.
yeah.
Like they're just like, what? How I've never heard this? And
I know.
some of these rappers that are like listening to like their one was Phil Collins.
Okay.
These rappers were listening to Phil Collins In the Air Tonight,
Yeah.
and they're like, this beat is sick. Like, this is sick. And they're like, oh, and like, what's going to happen? And then it's like, do. They're like, oh my God.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Cause it's cool that it's like,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
the old stuff has,
Yeah.
like, it has value.
Hands down.
You know?
Like some of that stuff, like, we have to make sure it doesn't get lost. Because, I mean, when I was growing up, like I guess I kind of am influencing her a little bit with just some of the stuff we put. But my music, because I was a DJ, my music taste is so wide. Like it's
Yeah.
just so I listen to everything. Like if it's Grease Mega Mix, one time, and then it's like going to Spice Girls, and then we're off to we're listening to Perfect Circle the other day,
Yep.
and it's just like just crazy. I'm all over the place, and then I'm listening to like Indian heavy metal on one side. It's just got and she has her preferences. She likes the stuff obviously little
poppier.
kids.
Yeah.
And they can sing to it, and
Yeah.
they can clap and whatever, right? And but that old stuff, like that old pop stuff, like Blue, da ba dee ba da,
That 90. So for
there was
like,
some great stuff.
yeah, for me, like, cause it's always music in your like sort of when shit's going on in your life.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like the music you like latch onto. So it always tends to be music and you're like kind of from puberty to like early university or whatever, that
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of. So for me, it's like 95 to like 01, 02. And it's funny because that's also when that was the Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera,
Hanson brothers.
Hanson, there was like there's that
like Justin Timberlake,
the-
like those. Oh,
yeah,
no,
JT was after.
JT was
just
after,
barely.
but he was with.
But he was in sync.
in sync.
Yeah, so like in sync.
Yeah.
And I just remember because that's the music you'd hear in junior high and high school. It was just
But even those
nonstop.
those funky tracks like Scatman. Shaggy, he had like the boombastic.
Yeah.
Right?
And then so for me, Shaggy was wasn't me.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Yeah.
And then like Cisco the thongs. Come on.
Vanga Boys.
The Vanga Boys.
Boom, boom, boom. Come on.
S Club 7.
Oh my! Let's close. Come
Glenn,
on,
Steal My
ride the
Sunshine.
train. The
Yeah,
shoot
yeah.
train. Who was that?
That was Jock Jams. Was the mix?
Oh,
was the
Jock
CD.
Jams was a
the mix.
great disc.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a good call, Jock
Cotton Eye
Jams.
Joe.
Man, Cotton Eye Joe. Oh my lord. I used to because when I was growing up on the farm, I just drive tractor. Like I just drive just in the field cultivating, plowing, whatever, right? Just back and forth all day. So cassette decks.
Yeah.
So I had cassettes, and it was Jock Jams was one of them. I used to do this DJ Def Jams, and it was like
Yeah,
they had the Def Jam DJs, yeah. And then of course Dance Mix, 95, 96, 97, and then the Big Shiny Tunes was another big one.
Big Shiny Tunes 2.
Yeah.
You heard it here.
Yeah.
Is the #1 mix CD of all time. Shiny Tunes 2. I'll go up against anybody on that.
Okay, so Shiny Tunes 2, they had Blur
So
Song
it's
2 on it.
Blur Song 2.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Was Manson on that one with
Beautiful People.
Beautiful People, right?
And see what a range.
Right.
And they had some CanCon on there because they was made by Much Music. so
Right.
they had to
Yeah, kind of
we
pump
go.
those up.
So they had
Oh, here we go. They got
Prodigy?
The Prodigy Breathe.
Blur,
Oh,
Third Eye Blind, Smash Mouth, Sugar Ray, Brand Van 3, Brand Van 3000.
Brand Van Drinking in LA. I
Marilyn
love that
Manson,
track.
Holly McNarland, One Hit Wonder was unbelievable. Bush, amazing. Matchbox 20, greatest band of all time.
Man.
Collective Soul, Tea Party, Chemical Brothers, Block Rock and Beats. Give me a break. Wide Mouth Mason, Canadian Darlings, Radiohead. I mean, one of the most important bands of all time. Age of Electric, One Hit Wonders again. Stone Temple Pilots. Come on,
Dude, that is you're
Like,
right.
when you
That's
think-
a crazy
and
lineup.
And the funny thing was, what I loved, what was the best about that was they would put that CD out and they're like, we don't give a flying F
Yeah.
if the people who like Brand Van 3000 have to listen to Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you expose
Oh,
people to music. Where now, like the algorithms are so tight
yeah.
and everything is so segregated, like you'll never hear that stuff.
Yeah. You know, it'd be sweet if they did festivals based on those albums. So can you imagine a festival
Well, they had
with that lineup,
they
just
had
that lineup, and they could play like all their, play all their tracks,
yeah.
of course.
It's
But just
called
a festival with stages with that lineup.
I think it was called
That would be
Throwback.
gnarly.
I think it was called the Throwback
Okay.
Throwback Festival.
Okay.
And it was that like they had like these like 90s like Smash Mouth was there, Better Than Ezra was there.
I can't get drinking it out in LA out of my
yeah.
head right now. Oh
Yeah.
my god. There was a couple of other ones like the US version ones too, that were like US specific. Like and there was one track, Skilo Low.
Yeah.
I wish it was a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah,
taller.
yeah.
I wish it was a
That's
baller.
older.
Oh yeah, it's older.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's
but it was
yeah.
great tracks on some of those albums. I remember I'm having a nostalgic moment because I was in Best Buy yesterday and just going back to those days, and some of the CDs we get for the car audio department to play to test subwoofers and
Yeah,
stuff like that, and yeah, some of those old tracks too.
Remember when I'm gonna interrupt you. Remember when everybody thought that in the future it would only be electronic music? And this was like in the mid '90s, or like by 2000, like it's just like it's just like so like that's when that's when like the techno craze
Darude Sandstorm.
yeah, like when Sandstorm, they're like that's it, that's music.
This
right
is
there.
where we're going.
That's,
Yeah,
everybody better
get on the train.
like Spy Break from The Matrix.
Oh man, those were good. Like
Like
that was a great album too.
Yeah.
Like and more heavier.
Yeah,
Like
it was more
great,
like
great.
hard house.
Like they had like the Rob Zombie, Prodigy,
Yeah, Prodigy.
Crystal Method,
Yeah.
all those guys. Really,
And Crystal Method was doing like those bands were doing like video game tracks because
yes.
once the PlayStation came out and then you had and the game was on a CD, they could code
Yeah.
music
to
like
it.
real music to
Yeah,
it, right?
yeah.
So that was really cool. And then
Yeah.
you started to get that I don't like the word, but that synergy.
Yes, the
The synergy of it all.
No, but great compilations.
Yeah.
Like even like and some of those bands listed, like Wide Mouth Mason, Smash Mouth. We just listened to Smash Mouth. Somebody once told me the word.
Yeah.
And Katana loves that track.
Yeah.
Shrek, right? Like
Yeah.
it came out.
Yeah.
Shrek really brought that back
Yes.
for a little while there when that movie came out. And I've listened to a couple debates about the influence that movies have on the music. The music industry.
Right.
Because there's like hit tracks. Like I know I love hearing tracks I've never heard. Like there's this one called there's a movie called Lucky Number 11.
Oh, yeah.
With
Lucy Liu and Josh Hartnett.
Yeah, Lucy Liu, Josh and Bruce Willis. Yeah. And there's a song in there called the Kansas City Shuffle. Love this track.
Yeah.
Love it. And it's so weird we're talking about music. Well, I guess this brought it up, but anyway.
Yeah, you specifically.
I just pulled a drive, an old DJ drive. There's like 100,000 songs on this thing.
Yeah.
It's a terabyte drive that like the drive's like that thick. It's like that big. It's a giant brick. And I started smashing through it. And like all my old saved lists of like the stuff I liked compared to the stuff I was DJing and blah, 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 right? And I found that track and I was like, man, like there's so many, like, there's so much.
Yeah.
There's so much content, so much music out there.
It got me Snatch.
Oh, the fight movie, Brad Pitt.
Yeah. Snatch and those that got me into Paul Oakenfold.
Oh.
And the Global Underground discs because
they were on Snatch?
Not him specifically, but like that style of that kind of house, that sort of like house music.
Right.
It really got me like
God, Paul Oakenfold. What was the big one that he did? Paul Oakenfold did an Elvis remix that I used to play at parties every now and then that everyone really liked. It was but what's the other one? Didn't Paul do stuff for Matrix as well?
Not sure.
I'm trying to remember now. Yeah, and then
then Fatboy Slim.
Oh, Fatboy! I used to love Fatboy Slim. Good call. Yeah.
Oh, did Paul Oakenfold do a little less conversation?
A little less conversation. Yeah, he did a remix of that.
That was
yeah,
the one. Yeah.
and it was like really techno-y.
Yeah.
Then like I got into some really cool guys because of Paul Oakenfold, like Sander Van Dorn. He's got some crazy cool stuff.
Mhm.
Now we're getting into the electronic world though, but like the old school electronic stuff, like that dance era stuff.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember what the track's called. It's like boom, boom, boom. Let me hit
Oh,
the
yeah.
ayo,
I
ayo.
forget the name
Oh
of it,
God.
but yeah, that I remember that.
Those were
Yeah.
great.
The Real McCoy,
Oh man, the real
like
McCoy.
Another Night, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
yeah, oh man,
There was another group, Entrance, a DJ group. Prodigy was like the really like the
they were hard.
yeah, like
Yeah.
Voodoo People, and but now Prodigy really hit me with Hackers when I
Yeah,
first saw
yeah, totally.
Hackers with Angelina Jolie.
But that was that was the coming together, like
Yeah.
the net hackers.
Oh, the net.
Yeah,
My wife just watched that movie the other day. She's like,
yeah,
"This movie was kind of neat." She's like, with Sandra Bullock, like it was
yeah.
different, and for the time,
Oh, apparently, so
the old
I
dial-up, they had "Creaker," and like
yeah,
yeah,
and
they
then
could
so
hack
they
each other's lives.
apparently they had to like it was a real pain in the ass
Yeah.
to write a program that would type the exactly what they wanted to show on screen, but that the actors didn't have to hit the exact keys. So they just made it so
Oh man,
they made it so every keystroke
yeah.
was the right
Word.
right letter or
Okay.
right number.
Oh,
So you could go like just
and it just
tap,
smash up what
and it
you
would
wanted.
smash. That way, it looked like they were like
Yeah, yeah,
pros,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But apparently, writing that back then, just getting a company to like write that code
Sucked.
sucked. Yeah, like it's so you think
The
about
technology was so bad.
Yeah.
Now we're landing freaking things on Mars.
that. It's just it's just kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's just, but that was a cool time. That like late '90s, like basically just '90s. For me, it was like '90s to 2000. That feeling of like, man, things are gonna really change in the future. Like things are gonna be really different. We had no idea.
Well,
How
and
different it was
it's
gonna be.
funny how like the different generations. So like you go to the '80s and you look at like Terminator and Predator and I'm going all off Arnold's because those are the movies I watched the most. But like where that stuff was like a horror movie almost, like it was scary. Like things
Yeah.
were like and then now it's kind of that stuff's all cool. And we make it look more real now than we've ever been able to
Yeah.
make it. And so that's
Well, and just that ability to like, I think it's kind of, what's the best way to put it? It's sort of telling
Yeah.
how that was our vision of in the 80s. You had the endoskeleton,
yes.
like the T-800, the red eyes, the like almost like mocking
Yeah.
grin
Yeah.
of like Skynet being like, this is what I think of you people.
Yeah.
Like it's a caricature of what I think you clowns look like,
Yeah.
right? All the way, but then in like 1999, Sony has the Aibo, the like pet dog. It's just kind of like this kind of fun, this sort of like you said, you
Now,
almost
the
made it,
Aibo,
like
the
friendly.
Aibo was like the little like it was a little like kind of like a game.
No, it was
wasn't
a doggy. It was a robot dog.
Oh yes.
And it would come home, and when he came home, it would come and say hi, and you could get it to sit, and it would wag its
Right.
tail, and it would like
Right.
play, and it had like, it didn't run, it had like,
Yeah, it's
balls-
kind of like
it had like balls on
waddle
its feet.
slide or
Yeah,
whatever.
so like slide.
yeah.
And now you have like the like little dog and big dog from Boston Dynamics. They can just pick shit up and like
Right.
toss it.
Yeah.
And use their tail and stuff. Like pretty
Man,
wild.
it's gnarly.
But it's just interesting that like you're right. They've made technology sort of like friendlier.
yeah. Furby. The one I was thinking of was a Furby. That thing where it was like
No, it was a little. It was still not a game. It was still Furby was still a little toy.
okay. There we go. There's
Yeah.
our. No, there was this thing where like kids were addicted to it. It was like a little like it fit in your palm, and you would feed this thing.
Tamagotchi.
Is it a
It was a
Tamagotchi?
little
Oh.
egg. It was a little egg
Yeah,
on a
'cause
keychain.
Furby was the guy that looked like a gremlin from the Gremlins movies. There's another great movie, Gremlins,
Gremlins was
right?
awesome.
Aliens, like the Sigourney Weaver. That's another change, and I'm not going to get into that too much. But the old like the women of power, Sigourney Weaver.
They need to like.
They
They
got to
need-
recognize that.
They
again.
need to stop.
Yeah.
They need to go back and they need to watch those films.
Oh man,
And it's like,
she was so good. Like when that shit was going down, like you believe it.
uh-huh.
Like and like everything she did, it's like, yeah, like that's what a person would do. Like they're freaking out. Like she was so good.
And just so tough.
Yeah.
And so
Such an underrated actor.
yeah.
Like I don't feel like she got the break in Hollywood that she
Well, she's been pretty solid the whole time.
she was pretty solid, but it was I guess
she
it was
definitely
it was
doesn't-
never in things that like I guess I took interest in. Like she did a lot of like drama movies and
goes-
things like that too.
So what happens is it goes back to not having a hero's journey anymore.
Right.
They like ruined the hero. There is no journey any longer.
Right.
So it's like what people on a subconscious level don't connect with
Yep.
is Captain Marvel.
Right.
Where it's, I'm just using it as because it's the simplest example. Oh, she had it in her the whole time.
Right.
There was no struggle.
Yeah.
There was like nothing.
It was more of it was just a realization.
It was a realization, which is like you can't connect with a realization. Like you can't connect with, and it was and Rey, from Star Wars. It's just if you compare, and this is that again. I agree. I don't want to open this up, but if you compare Luke Skywalker to Rey, the reason why they're actually angry that people still love Luke Skywalker, and it's like because it was he got his ass handed to him constantly until he.
Yeah, the best thing about a hero is their weaknesses.
Yeah.
That's what you want to see. You like,
Right.
and then we're like that in normal society. We want
Right.
to tear people down because we love seeing people fail, hurt, not succeed at their goals, right?
Yeah.
But then on the flip side of that, if we fall in love with that character and we see them succeed, we enjoy the failures as much as we enjoy the successes,
Yeah.
and we look forward to the successes
Yeah.
now because you're like you build that sympathy.
Well, and
and like with Luke, you can tie it. Like they could tie it where like this guy grew up without it, on an island, destined. He knew he had something better. Go to any back then in the 70s, any boy that was like they're the same thing. They're like, there's a better life.
There's got to
for me.
be better
There's
something.
out there.
Yeah.
So they go into Star Wars and they're like, I'm Luke.
Yes.
Luke thinks like me.
Yeah.
And like he's got these problems and his mind is the same way. And
Yeah.
I want someone to come and scoop me up and
Right.
show me the path.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it was
Yeah,
all
like-
relatable.
Yeah, and I think, and quite frankly, I don't think young girls and young women
Boys
and,
even.
and boys, but I mean I guess when you go to specifically why they're choosing
Yeah.
those characters, the young women aren't. It doesn't. They're not. It's not relatable at all.
No. And it's
just
kind of
not.
weird because it's I feel like even like the toxicity of masculinity and femininity femininity I think it is worse now because of
Right,
because
they're
of the
not
direction
letting-
we've gone.
That's right. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's so idiotic.
Yeah.
To say that the only way a woman can feel any worth is to be a man. That's
Yeah,
literally what they're saying.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I never
That's
thought
like
of it that way
what
too.
they're saying. They're literally saying it's like you only have any worth if you're doing what the men are doing.
Yeah.
That's the exact opposite. You're basically what's the best way to put it?
I never thought of it
Yeah.
that way. That's actually
Like
a
you
really
are because
great
you're
point.
you're literally
That's a great point.
you're degrading what makes women unbelievable.
Yeah.
What makes them amazing. Like everything about them that's amazing, you're basically saying is worthless.
Well, and it's weird because, like, I mean, in my mind, you should love a woman for everything that you're not,
Right.
like the things that they are that you're not.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know, like if you go after like the respect portion of it, where it's like respect the fact that a woman can have a child and
Yeah.
bring life into the world, and and then everyone's like, oh well, guys do this. No, they don't.
No.
No,
Yeah,
like-
it's not the same.
Coming from a guy who has a wife that's had a baby,
It's like we're not doing shit.
we're not doing shit. All right, we can pretend all we
But
want.
why? But that's
We're
what I
not
mean.
doing
So it's
shit.
like, so they're trying to say the only way you have any worth is to not make
Right.
life and then go
And
work
live something
and li-
in a way that
and-
you
yeah,
fucking
and, like,
hate your life.
and go climb the corporate ladder. It's like,
Right.
guys don't even want to do that.
I know, right?
Like
That's-
guys don't even.
That's
Like,
and there's this misconception, there's this misconception. It's like, listen, like dudes don't. 99% of guys don't want to do
it's
that.
like
shit
why?
either.
That's right. It's like like what do they
and
think we're
and
doing?
we're as a society, as men, bullied into thinking that that's the right path. That's
Right.
what we're
So
supposed
like
to
if
do.
anything were, I mean, well, I don't want to switch. It around.
Whoa,
Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa. No, but I mean, but if anything, it's like
Insert
the-
hate mail here.
the pressure is
Yeah.
is each each gender, like each sex is dealing with their own pressures
Yeah.
and their own
And they're so
advantages.
deep rooted. Like they're
Yeah.
so, and they're actually worse. Like they're worse. Like it's gotten so much
Yeah.
worse than what it was. Like, I mean, like back in the day, like I personally, going back to the nostalgic talk that we were talking about, I love the chivalry
Yeah.
method.
Absolutely.
I love the. I don't like it that like when they try and cut it too black and white, where it's like a man goes gets to work, does this, a woman stays home and does the job. I don't like that where it's cut so dry, because that's the, like, a man opens the door for the girl, takes her out for dinner. The woman, uh, takes care of the man in the sense that, like, they take care of each other. I don't know. It's kind of, it's
Yeah,
hard
like
to
I think
explain,
I
but
know,
the
but
chivalry
yeah, like
is gone.
I think they discount
Yeah.
the pleasure
Right.
that both men and women get when they do what they feel like.
You got her. Yeah.
Because what you feel like is yours and yours alone.
And at
And
the
if
end
it
of the day,
happens to be what is normal, why are people pushing against it?
right.
Because
We love conflict.
no, yeah, well, it's just because you know
but
what I mean.
but we hate it. We love it, but we hate it.
But it's like
so
when
weird.
people say, "Oh, it's," and when people say, "Well, how come only 10% of CEOs are women?" It's like because
The job
the
sucks.
job's garbage. That's why, because only 10% of women are smart, and the other 90, are only 10% of women are stupid enough to
Right.
do this.
Yeah.
This because it's idiotic. You want to die 55 with a stroke because you worked 80 hours a week for 20 years? Like, it just, you have to be okay with.
There's a great show. It's called The Morning Show with Steve Carell and Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I've heard of it.
we watched it on Apple TV, but it's a great point. Like she and it's actually it's go check it out. It's really good. So Steve Carell is her co-host. They've been doing the morning show for like years and years and years and years, and then he gets outed as a sexual predator, like
Right.
he calls sexual assault to people on staff and stuff like that. So then there's all this investigation about, like, well, what's the culture like inside the network and blah blah blah, right? And she had an affair with him as well, but it was like a mutual thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's just crazy, the rabbit hole that it goes down, and the objectification and the viewpoints and so on and so forth. It's a super powerful. Like, it's actually really well done. Like, it's super powerful. I love Steve Carell. Steve Carell has like such a crazy range of acting. Like, I saw him in Space Force, which was another Apple program. It's really good there. Then you see him in like Office Space, or
The Office.
The Office,
Yeah.
which could never get made today if
Yeah.
like
Or 40. We were watching 40-year-old Virgin.
oh my,
Which we were like, man, I was like laughing so hard it was hurting.
and you
But
could
you couldn't
not
make
make
it
that
today.
movie today.
Yeah, like you couldn't.
But what's so it's like bad because it's like you couldn't make that movie today, yet you could watch it and laugh your
So what does
ass
that tell
off.
you?
What does that tell you?
What does that tell you?
Exactly.
Like that's That's
kinda
going all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah.
So watch Sigourney, like watch Alien.
Yeah.
And Aliens.
God, that's how we got
And then
derailed.
make
Holy
and
yes,
then
aliens,
make and
right?
then make female characters that are awesome. Don't make
But
2D cardboard cutout characters and think that you're showing diversity or think that you're empowering women, because you're not. You're just making shitty movies that nobody likes, and that's doing a disservice.
And I'm not
You
going to
know?
bring this up, but it goes back to what we were talking about, like the other day with like Gina Carano and
Yes,
stuff like
it
that.
goes
And
back to that.
Mandalorian goes back to
100%.
that.
100%.
And if you want to look at another super powerful female actor that was way before any of this Me Too stuff and all that sort of stuff is Catherine Janeway, Voyager.
Oh,
Same thing.
unreal.
Right? Unreal.
Unreal.
Like there's
The Star Trek, like the female characters in Star Trek actually were like, and that's another thing. It kind of ticked me off. I love Marina Sirtis.
Yeah.
Deanna Troi. Like
Yeah.
I met her.
we saw her at the last Comic-Con convention. We didn't go talk to her though.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
saw her there, but I went the next one. I chatted with her.
Right. Okay.
And like she was kind of saying that she didn't like Deanna Troi in TNG.
Yeah.
Because she felt like she was like too shallow in that show. but like she was one of the crew members that grew the most.
Pretty much.
Like she had so much going on, and her backstory was so fleshed out, like with her mom and her dad and Riker, and then she kind of like she became a commander and she went through like command training, and then in the episode where she had to take charge, there's so many good episodes that actually she got more than like a lot of the other characters did. You know?
But even like I don't remember her real name, Beverly Crusher, same thing.
Yeah, Gates McFadden.
You know, like with her, you know, having a child, single mother, so there's just so many like Star Trek fucking
Like
rock.
Dax and Deep Space Nine, the 400-year-old wisdom.
Yeah.
And the like kick-assery and like and just, you know, like her thing with the Klingons and like so deep. And like, yeah, and Janeway, fucking Janeway, like
A commanding woman in a commanding role.
yeah, like it's
Dope.
just like it's
and like it didn't matter if you were a guy or girl, you loved her.
but now and you go to like Discovery now with stupid Michael Burnham, and it's like no struggle. The whole point is like, oh shit, she should have been the captain the whole time. That's the moral of the story. That's what we got after 3 seasons. It's like, oh, sorry, we should have listened to her the whole time. You know, it's just like idiotic. Like you just and you can't expect, and whether it was a male or female, like a character like that, nobody. It's just like Luke.
Yeah.
Like if Luke friggin' saw the lightsaber and he found a lightsaber for the first time, was like, oh, this? And just like,
Let's go.
Kenobi didn't have to teach him anything? Like, it's just...
He just like touched it and he got the wisdom and the power all the right out the gate. Yeah,
and he, you know, and then he ran into Darth Vader instead of like, when the Millennium Falcon's when they're trying to escape the Death Star, he sees Darth Vader. If he was like, I'm coming to get you, and he like ran at him and then and Darth Vader barely escaped with his life. He's like, oh man, well, I hope I don't run into that kid again. That would be the shittiest movie. Like, then everything would be for nothing.
I'll just avoid that guy for the rest of the galaxy.
No, but it's just like, you know, it's like when Kylo Ren gets his ass handed to him
by a girl that doesn't
know what she's doing.
Yeah.
The first movie.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can.
There's nothing left to tell.
Nothing left to tell.
Yeah, we know where this is ending.
Yeah. So anyway,
and that's another cool thing about Star Wars too, was the whole like, you know, good versus evil, the battles. There was a really great thing brought out. I was watching some of the behind the scenes of Mandalorian, and they were bringing up the scene where not Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, Qui-Gon?
Yeah.
Qui-Gon, yeah.
Qui-Gon.
It was Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon that were cruising around, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When Qui-Gon is fighting Darth Maul,
yes.
It was for the soul.
Yeah, the duel of the fates.
Duel of the fates.
Right.
And it was like, yeah, like when I heard Favreau like bring that up, and then they played some of the old footage, and you're like, oh man, like they're like, yeah, there was never this like, it was like that was the metaphor, and like, so when you go into like storytelling at that magnitude, like that's where you know Star Wars lost it, because
Right.
when you go into storytelling from that movie and you go shit, like, and I mean, I thought the first 3 were horrible. I thought
that's what people thought.
Right. But when you go into the metaphors of
and
the
like what they were
storytelling
telling,
and what they were trying to like get out, that like only a true fan, only a true dedicated, you know, and someone who can appreciate that story is going to understand that.
Yeah.
And it's like borderline like genius. Like it's really well
it's
done.
deep, and the tragedy of Darth,
tragedy,
like the tragedy of Anakin Skywalker. Like, it was a little bit ham-fisted how they handled it, and it was probably for all kinds of reasons. But the story of him, the fall, and like where it all came from, and the inevitability of it, and the manipulation, and you see that from episode 1 to episode 6.
Yeah.
Unreal.
So I'm curious if they're going to do that with Mandalorian, like, because I'm really interested. Like, I mean, Mandalorian is just dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a couple of like filler shows, like the one where they crash on the ice planet and he's transporting that
the spider thing. Yeah,
that
they
girl
sometimes have fillers.
So they have like kind of like a filler episode. They didn't really like tell us a lot. I was super surprised of the Bill Burr episode, when, you know, he was a commander, and like it's like, oh yeah, like, well, you know, like there was a bunch of us on that ship, and a bunch of my buddies were on that ship and they died, and you just think it's whatever, or in that battle. I was like, damn, like this shit got deep.
Yeah.
It got deep, and it got
it got
real.
good, yeah.
And it got really good. And like, you know, I in the first episode that Bill Burr was in, I was like, yeah, not a very good actor.
Yeah. He can only be Bill Burr.
He can only be Bill, exactly.
That's kind of his.
But then in the second one that he was in, I was like, man, like, dude, you popped.
Yeah.
Like that was awesome.
He managed to get like a different look on his face.
Yeah.
When he.
But also like his motives, the way they wrote his motivations into the show.
Yeah.
Again,
so cool.
Good story writing. Really good story writing. So I'm really interested to start learning more about Mandalorian Pascal's character. More like where he came from, his training, his journey.
If they show
it, right? And so it'd be really cool if they did that.
See, because I feel like in the next little bit, and we've run out of time, but in the next little bit, I feel like
one more thing.
I feel like oh shit, what do we got?
What? Shitty pictures. I couldn't find anything good. I don't know. I couldn't find anything good today for some reason.
That's a lot.
Anyway,
man,
let's jump into this really quick. WandaVision, Friday today. 7, right? Episode 7.
Yeah.
I'm loving this.
So
personally, I'm really digging it. Now, you were going to go into something last time about this, but we missed it.
Yeah.
We got into the Carano thing more.
I think. You know what I think? This is a wild theory. I don't know. It's probably wrong. It's almost 100% wrong. I think she pulled Quicksilver out of the other reality, not realizing it.
So everyone's arguing that.
That's what I think.
Yeah, everyone's arguing that, saying that's not it.
Because they're saying it's not it.
It's not it.
So they just changed the actor just because. That's such an un-Marvel thing to do.
No, what they did is what the theory is. Again, this is all these because I go in and I watch a bunch of these.
Exactly.
As soon as I
idiots
see,
like us making a show.
Making a show, exactly. So they were talking about where it's potentially because she's still trying to piece her past together and she's getting it wrong. And so this is actually a person that lives in Westview, but has like just like a thing over top of her.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So all the people that are in Westview, she's making them look.
She is. She's making
look
them do.
Away.
She's
so
making
like
them do what,
when she snaps out of this guy is going to be some just random dude.
That had his DNA fucked with.
Not even DNA. It's just his look.
They said
just
when you're in,
it could be his DNA.
When you're in the hex there,
she can do whatever.
She do whatever.
So
she basically gave him the superpower.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And gave him.
Yeah.
He's
not really there. He's actually gone because the one thing that they can't change is death. And then the other question that they were saying was, or the other thing that they were pulled up was when she goes to ask questions about like, Halloween, when we were growing up, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you're testing me. And that's that whole, like, she's testing herself.
Yeah.
She's trying to figure out what the hell am I doing and where did all this come from?
Gotcha.
It's very, very deep. Very, very, very deep. But there's another thing that came out today, and I don't care if I spoil it for people, that they're thinking that the villain that everybody thinks it's going to be is not who it is. Like, there's people talking about Mephisto and all this other sort of stuff, but they're thinking that maybe Mephisto's there, but there's somebody else that's a big villain.
Right.
But they haven't really what I love is the surprise I had because I watched a bunch of these pre-episode things of like, it's gonna turn to this, gonna turn to that. But then when he walked in the door, I was like, oh shit! Like
that was wild.
I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And so I was really hoping that your theory is right, that she pulled and I mean, we don't know. We're not gonna know until shit pops off. But I'm hoping your theory is right because that's a fantastic way to introduce the X-Men.
Yeah.
But they're going to introduce the first class X-Men, which I love. I think that's going to be cool.
So you don't think, well, I don't know. I don't think they're going to bring back, Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique.
Well, no, she's dead.
Oh, right. That's right.
They can't bring her back.
Well, that was a terrible movie.
Yeah, it was. I haven't seen it. I actually haven't seen it. I just knew that she
Don't
died.
bother.
Yeah.
It's garbage.
So that is a cool idea. The fact that they're bringing speaking of all the names we were trying to guess earlier, Tobey Maguire, Garfield.
Well, no, they're not. So
what?
So Tom Holland leaked. He spit out, and maybe he's in on it. Maybe he's in on it.
Right.
Could be.
Yeah.
But he's like, I haven't seen those two anywhere on any script, any call sheet, any set, anywhere. So maybe he's just straight up lying.
Right.
But he's like, no.
But like I thought that there was even reports of like the guy Doctor Octopus.
Alfred Molina.
Yeah,
Molina? Such a good actor.
I thought
Oh,
that
man.
they confirmed him like he's going to become back.
Yeah, I don't
And Jamie Foxx's Electro.
Oh, that's so weird. But then no, because Electro was already there was already Electro in the first movie
There was
with the gauntlets.
no, that's Shocker.
Oh, sorry, Shocker. Oh my God. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. What am I talking about?
Yeah. So there could be like if they because they're trying to play off this multiverse thing, right? Which would be kind of neat. But I'd like them to end it. So like what I hope they do is they bring it all together, but then they end it. So that way there's closure on why there was another Spider-Man movie, why this other X-Men existed. And so that they just close off the realms and then those people don't exist.
To me,
or they meld all the timelines.
In a weird way, I kind of hope my theory is incorrect.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them to meld. I want to see Marvel's Wolverine. Like I want to see who
That's a good point.
I want to see Cyclops played by a likable actor. I want to see I kind of want to see what they would do and that like could you imagine the first post-credit scene where they tease any of that shit?
Like Wolverine.
Like where they tease Wolverine or they tease an X, there's or they tease something.
Yeah.
People are gonna lose their shit.
I'm losing my shit just thinking about it.
You know what I mean? But that feeling and how they're gonna reconcile mutation versus enhanced humans, like humans that get enhanced by something.
Miracles.
Versus
they're calling them miracles.
Yeah, versus the mutation.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Crazy.
That's it. So
okay.
There we go.
We're done.
You know what we're gonna do next week?
What's that?
We should do a new segment.
Okay.
And Ryan might have to do it.
Okay.
Well, so it's maybe more work for him. At the end of this show, we should throw up a graphic and show show how we got to where we ended. The topic.
I don't even know how we do that.
I know. I got to think about it. But it'd be because we literally started with Dum Dum and her Gorilla Glue
landing on Mars.
Landing on Mars.
Yeah, we were all over the map.
Then
we went to music, which was fantastic, by the way. That was great.
Music. Then we went strong female characters
and some movie stuff,
traditional roles, storytelling, movie, and then Marvel. Out.
That's a lot of shit to cover.
There you go. So,
all right, cool. Thanks, everybody. Peace out. Have a great weekend and stay safe. Man, that was a roller coaster. That was awesome. Oh, shit. So